Hello guys, and today I've got an interesting video. I want to talk about a puzzle game, and it's called Dr. Mario. Now there's the NES version and the Game Boy version. Now, what this video is going to be talking about is which one do I think is better and what they bring to the series. Now, Dr. Mario on the NES, it obviously is the first Dr. Mario game. You guys may know Dr. Mario, or may have played on, say, the Wii or anything like that. Now, I'm going to point out which one's my favorite and then why I think it. But I think Dr. Mario on the Game Boy is better than the NES version. My reason for this, Dr. Mario on the Game Boy, it's portable, obviously. You know, you just put it into the Game Boy and, obviously it'll start. I'm not in great lighting conditions, so it's kind of hard to see the Game Boy. But in terms of Dr. Mario on the NES and on the Game Boy, I think the Game Boy version is better, not only because is it more portable, but the cartridge size, as you can see, is significantly smaller. And I know this is going to sound weird, but I think Dr. Mario works on the Game Boy compared to the NES. And I only say this because Dr. Mario on the NES, it's still a good game, but I think the Game Boy version is better because the Game Boy functions better with puzzles compared to the NES. Like the NES, you may think of games like The Legend of Zelda or Mario 3. You wouldn't immediately think the NES and think puzzle games. At least most people wouldn't. When you think of Game Boy, you think of like Tetris, Dr. Mario, maybe a couple more games like Mario's Picross. You think of puzzle games more. And this is just a topic I wanted to talk about because I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about Dr. Mario often. Maybe besides like Smash Bros. But to me, I think Dr. Mario on the Game Boy is better than the NES version. Now, don't get me wrong. These are both great games. I love them. They're nice little puzzle games, and they are included in Switch Online. But I do think the Game Boy version is better than the NES one. I still love both games, but I think the Game Boy version is better. Now, the NES one, in terms of features, these games are the exact same. But I do like the NES one because it obviously is in color, and even if you put the Game Boy game into a Game Boy Color or a Game Boy Advance, this doesn't have like colors like Dr. Mario on the NES. So if you want more color, obviously just have the NES version. But if you want more portability, I would say just get the Game Boy version. Thank you for watching.